If you like what I do, consider joining my channel or donating to my coffee. Links in the description.
Metroidvania First Impressions.
Hey, it's the Metroidvania Guru, and welcome to my Winds of Arcana Ruination First Impressions video. This is a sponsored video thanks to the folks over at 1312 Interactive and Brood Games, and I very much appreciate the sponsorship and the advanced key for the game. Winds of Arcana Ruination releases today, so go check it out after watching my video. Links in the description and pinned comment. Now, I want to be clear, this is not a review as I have not completed the game yet, hence the first impressions in the title. Currently, I'm 4 hours in, and I've done a lot and seen a lot that I feel I can give you all a strong first impressions video. Firstly, what's going on here? You play as Aaron, a mercenary whose last job didn't go so well, and now he's trying to find his missing captain. And that's led him to these ruins that are full of nasty demon-like monsters. And where there's monsters, there's combat. Arcana's combat revolves around a mix of melee weapons and magic. Let's start with the basics. Aaron begins with a sword that has a lengthy ground combo and an aerial assault. But hacking and slashing isn't all he can do. You can eventually find hammers and chakram to add some variety to his demon-slaying repertoire. The chakram was my favorite, as I could throw it from a safe distance and take out flying enemies pretty easily thanks to its aim assist. I actually wasn't able to get the hammer because you have to buy it from a shop, and I spent all my money on enhancing my spells. More on that in a bit. If there's anything I love in a Metroidvania or a Souls-like, it's weapon progression, and Arcana has this in spades. In the first 4 hours, I was introduced to some things that really caught my attention: weapon variety, weapon traits, and mage smithing. It appears that there are 3 types of weapons: swords, hammers, chakram, and 3 types of each weapon, making a total of 9 weapons. And each weapon has something called weapon traits. 1 trait they start with, and 2 more that can be unlocked by killing enemies with them. I love this kind of stuff. It really makes every weapon feel impactful and rewards you for experimentation. And it really helps that you can equip 1 of each weapon and swap them on the fly using the D-pad. Mage smithing, as you can probably guess, is how you upgrade your weapons to do more damage. So, obviously, it's the most important aspect of the game. Just bring your weapon and a sparse resource you find while exploring to this dude, and he'll hook you up with some DPS. Truly a gentleman and a scholar. Aaron also comes with an array of maneuvers to help him get around this world, as well as survive in the battlefield. He comes with a slide, perfect for evasion, as well as an air dash, and depending on the weapon equipped, he can do other things to increase his survivability, like parrying with the sword or dodging with the chakram. Each of these moves requires strict timing, so you know I sucked at it, but I was able to pull off some sick parries every now and then. My go-to strategy was the chakram/spells combo for its incredible DPS and safety thanks to the distancing. Once I got the Soul Crest, which is how you unlock your spells, I spent all my money on improving my magic, and it was a good move because these spells can get ridiculously powerful. It requires mana to use a spell, and you replenish mana by hitting enemies, which is my favorite magic system. So I'd hit jabronis with my chakram and then blast them with magic. It's a pretty effective strat, but some bosses will see right through it. Some of these bosses are really tough. In my 4-hour playthrough, I probably fought 4 or 5 of them, and the later bosses I fought gave me a run for my money. This dude was a particular pain in my butt, but it was nothing a little pogoing couldn't overcome. Now's probably a good time to discuss the game's difficulty and accessibility. There are a ton of accessibility options that you can toggle on the fly, including the game's overall difficulty. Strictly for research purposes and not because this boss trashed me a dozen times, I put the game on the lowest difficulty right as I was about to fight him and was basically able to one-shot him. Then, I just set the difficulty back on normal. Do what you will with this information. All I'm gonna say is that I always appreciate accessibility options like this and find it great when you can just switch whenever you want. But let's say you want to keep the game on normal and get good. You have some options, and they're called Relics. They're very much like charms from Hollow Knight, modifying your character based on what you equip. I tended to stick to the damage reduction relics because, as it turns out, demons hit hard. Thankfully, you have yourself an Estus Flask type drink to chug just in case the demons play too rough. So yeah, there's some Dark Souls influence here, including the dreaded corpse run, though I don't think you lose all your money when you die. So that brings us to what you spend money on. Everything. I wasted all my money on spells, but there's a hub in the shrine where you'll find any merchants you've helped along the way. Each merchant specializes in something. The Mage Smith makes your weapon stronger, this dude sells you relics, this dude sells you lots of stuff to increase your stats. Also, he's hilarious.
My name is difficult to utter in primitive tongues, so for ease of communication, you may call me Ron.
I have to say, the voice acting in this game is really good, and the game has a good sense of humor. You'll like to see it.
Aaron, you're alive.
Good to see you too, Yasui.
How? I saw you die 3 months ago.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Let's finish my first impressions by talking about what you'll be spending a lot of time doing: platforming. These ruins are full of traps and tricky platforming sequences that'll make you sit up in your chair and lock in. And that's just in the first 4 hours I've played. Looking at the trailer, things are gonna get pretty nuts, and I can't wait. Oh, and also, there's a ton of ability teasing, so make sure you're marking up your map and using the game's screenshot feature. You'll thank me later. Overall, what are my thoughts on Winds of Arcana Ruination? For the first 4 hours I played, I had a lot of fun. I think the part that hooked me most is all the progression systems. I'm a sucker for stuff like that. Unlocking weapon traits, buying items for permanent stat increases, blacksmithing to make you stronger, increasing your spells and spell strength, and there's a lot of side quests too. I'm pretty excited to finish this one and see just what else is lurking in the darkness. Thanks again for 1312 Interactive and Brood Games for sponsoring this video. Links to Winds of Arcana Ruination can be found in the description and pinned comment. Give the game a shot. And as always, leave me a like and a comment. Have you played Winds of Arcana Ruination? What are your thoughts on the game? And you might as well subscribe while you're down there, because I'm always yapping about Metroidvanias. Until next time, later nerds.